So, very good morning, my dear students of class 12. Today, we are going to discuss about the female reproductive system. In the previous classes, we have already discussed about the male reproductive system, the female reproductive system. There is regulations, then menstruation cycle we have discussed, then we have discussed about the how cleavage is happening in the embryo and how this embryo is coming into the stage of morula from blastula. Today in this session, I would like to tell you about certain things that should be noted. Because these terms are applicable in the examination. You can see here a diagram is already made on the basis of this diagram we are going to discuss about what is happening when the embryo is developing. Okay, let us see. Actually, the process by which a blastocyst is getting attached into the uterus, there are so many type of changings occur. However, attachment of this blastocyst, the previous state of fetus, when it is getting attached with the uterus, is known as implantation. Dear students, I think as you have previously studied all these things in class 10th, here there are certain things about which we are going to discuss. Number one question I would like to ask you, what is the difference between an embryo and a fetus? The difference is this: after being implanted into the uterus, after 2 months, when the embryo seems like a human structure, this is called as fetus. When implantation occur into the uterus of the female, menstruation cycle completely stop. There will be no more menstruation will be there. Okay? So, this is the structure of female reproductive system as shown here on the blackboard, in which we are going to discuss about certain parts like placenta, umbilical cord, amniotic fluid, cervix, vagina, chorion, amnion, and fetus. Dear students, when the uterus consists the innermost wall endometrium. When no fertilization occurs, the wall of endometrium, as it is getting completely filled with the blood, is getting blast. You can say rupture. And after this rupture, amount of blood is coming out together with mucus. That process is is known as menstruation. That process is known as menstruation. But when implantation will be there, no more menstruation as I have discussed previously. So what is happening after this? The embryo, after its development, getting surrounded by a, you can see here, this finger-like projections called placenta, and you can see how outermost wall that is made by blue color chalk, that is known as chorion, and the innermost wall that you can see is amnion. This amnion is the innermost membrane that is surrounding the fetus. This amnion is the innermost membrane that is surrounding the fetus. Inside the amnion, there will be a fluid. That fluid is known as amniotic fluid. This fluid is known as amniotic fluid. This amniotic fluid is named as amniotic because it is rich in protein. Rich in protein. And you know, as the smallest unit of a protein is amino acid. So, because it is consisting amino acids, you know, see, here the digestive system of that fetus is not so developed as we are having. So it is not having capacity to digest the protein. It needs to be digested. But if there will be amino acid, it can be easily taken by the fetus, growing fetus, and you know that the protein is only responsible for the formation of body. Formation of body. So this amniotic fluid is present, that is making a protective environment around the growing fetus and also provide nutrition. However, this amniotic fluid is present around this fetus for protecting it from shocks. Protecting it from shocks. You can see from this amnion, this kind of tube-like structure is attached with the fetus, that is known as umbilical cord. That is known as umbilical cord. Chorion, the outermost surrounding of this fetus, is also protective in nature. Is also protective in nature. And the placenta that you can see, that is a finger-like projection, that it seems like villi. Villi, can you notice? This villi you might have studied in intestine. What was the function of these villi in the intestine? For the absorption of whatever you are digesting. Whatever you are digesting, it is being absorbed by these villi. The same role of this placenta. It takes nutrition from mother and deliver it to the growing fetus. Not only this, but it is also responsible for the transfer of oxygen from mother to the growing child, because at that time heart, lungs and rest of the things are not so developed as we are having. Therefore, there is an urgent need to have a proper supply of oxygen together with nutrient from mother continuously with this growing fetus. This is going to be the function of placenta. If someone is asking you about what is the function of placenta, you can say simply, it provides oxygen, it provides nutrition, and one most important, the most important thing is this: in the growing fetus, by the placenta, there are few hormones which are being produced. Number one, progesterone. Number one is progesterone. As you know, the function of progesterone, two functions are there. Number one, it is for the development of embryo. Secondly, it is also helping in the production of milk after the process of parturition. What is parturition? Parturition is the process by which this fetus comes out. In so many examinations, you might have seen that this particular diagram is being given and you have to label it. Together with the labeling of the diagram, it is also being asked about the function of certain things. That these are things you have already seen, you have already experienced in your class 10th board examination. Okay? My dear students, here you can see what I was going to discuss with you. The process of parturition. The process of parturition is coming out of this growing fetus from vagina. You know, females are having some specific type of physique. As you can see, they are having little broader pelvic girdle. There will be a hole. That hole is known as pubic symphysis. This progesterone hormone also helps during the process of parturition. Imagine when a body is coming out by stretching the vaginal part, it is too much painful. In order to minimize this pain, when the child is coming out is known as labor pain in the medical term. So for minimizing this particular labor pain, this progesterone is also very helpful. It minimizes by stretching the muscular wall of the uterus and by making a little bit relaxation in the pubic symphysis. Then, okay, I think you are understanding what I am saying, no? Now, you can see here, what is one more term is there, gestation period. I am known about this thing, that you are known with the gestation period. How many days it is? Just remember and recall, because this is going to be an important question. See, this reproductive system chapter reproductive system in human is a very important chapter. If you are properly known about these things, so many short notes may come, so many long answers, diagram together with objectives, they will come. Therefore, it is very necessary to prepare all these diagrams. So, I was talking about the gestation period. Now, the period between implantation of an embryo and coming out in the form of baby is known as gestation period. Later, I would like to discuss about this umbilical cord. I think you might have seen a newborn baby in your home. Have you seen a tube-like structure is attached with the stomach? And doctors are simply making it cut and giving it to particular person. And it is a tradition in this area that whenever this tube we are getting now, we are not simply throwing it outside. We are not simply throwing it outside. We are keeping it in a safe place. That is a type of tradition in our area. Later, in an advertisement, there is a bank charging 30,000 rupees for keeping this umbilical cord in the bank. They are making a bank where this umbilical cord will be stored with your name. What was the need? What was the need to keep it? See, in several cases, kidney and many other transplantations are not so successful because it is the property of our body that whenever a foreign material is being introduced, it simply opposes it. But by this umbilical cord, one cell of this umbilical cord can give rise many organs in our body. So the people are storing it there, that in any emergency, this particular cell present in umbilical cord can be used as totipotent cell that can give rise a complete desired organ. Now, once I told about the totipotency, I would like to discuss about this totipotency also. Because totipotency is a term that was firstly used by Stewart. He conducted his experiment on the fluent cells of carrot, and with the help of this single fluent cell, he was able to create a new carrot plant by keeping it in nutrient media. In your syllabus, there is a complete study of different type of nutrient media, how the nutrient media will be made, but it is there in the next chapters, not here. So the the totipotency is a term by which a single cell of a particular organism can be utilized to give birth of the same. Birth of the same. That much important term is this totipotency. Okay. Now, this totipotency process is being used in this cells present in the umbilical cord, which can give rise our desired organ, and that's why it is being set. That's why it is being set. So this was all about the process of reproduction, how the reproduction is taking place. What is the process of menstruation? Menstruation stops when a female conceive embryo, or conceive fetus. I told you about the difference between a fetus and embryo. After 2 months of the development of that embryo, when this embryo assumes the shape of a human body, that is known as fetus. That is the difference. Okay? And then I have discussed, I made a very simple diagram. In spite of taking diagrams from other sources, you can take this diagram, because this is more simple and it can be explained much more better than what is given in the book. So that's all about this particular chapter. I am very happy that you people are working properly at your home and finishing the things. Dear students, this is the last topic in reproduction in human. In our next class, we will study about different type of diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. We will discuss about this. I have given you one project to make this sexually transmitted disease. Then after, I would like to discuss about certain processes. In so many cases, because of any disturbance in the fallopian tube or any other type of abnormality, or you can say problem, it is not very possible to produce a child by a natural way. Therefore, medicinal science proposed a lot of ideas about formation of test tube babies, IMD, and many other type of transplantations, by which if the female is not able to conceive a child or the male is not able to produce a child, then also in the laboratory nowadays scientists are able to produce a child. This also we will discuss in the next chapter. Till then, thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you.